Good afternoon. Christmas and New Year means 4 games in 11 days for the majority of football clubs. It's a crucial period in this football season. We're going to chart the closing stages of all this afternoon's matches. 3 days from Christmas, but here in the Final Score studio, no sign of 3 wise men. It's Mark Bright, Graham Poll and Les Ferdinand paying close attention to the Barclays Premier League matches underway. One result already in. Arsenal 2, Tottenham 1. More details on the way. Here's the latest news on this afternoon's 3 o'clock kickoffs. Sunderland were a single point above the relegation places ahead of an away game at Reading. Latest news from Roger Johnson.
They're in trouble. Reading are ahead 1-0. Eva Ingemarson, the goal scorer. Ball in from the right-hand side. Headed goalwards by Sonko. Good save by Craig Gordon. Restored in goal for Sunderland this afternoon. Ingemarson followed in to score from close range. Reading have bossed it. Hunt is at the post. Gordon saved well from him before half-time. Sunderland's only chance of the game of real note. One for Andy Cole just 4 minutes in. Denied by a Harneman double save. Sunderland up against it here. Reading lead 1-0.
2 points out of 15 for Tranmere Rovers and a goal down at Luton. Davio Edwards on 70 minutes. Luton 1, Tranmere 0. It's 5th versus 7th at Anfield. Damien Johnson is watching the Liverpool-Portsmouth game.
Yeah, Liverpool 3, Portsmouth 1. Fernando Torres' 12th goal of the season. Looks like making it safe for Liverpool. They're, of course, looking to arrest a run of 3 straight defeats. Liverpool led at half-time and looked comfortable. Yossi Benayoun's spectacular volley and a Sylvain Distin old goal. But Pompey fought back in the second half. Benjani's well-taken goal made it 2-1. But Liverpool's top scorer struck a few minutes ago, side-footing home after David James had smothered Ryan Babel's run on goal. It's 3-1.
100% at home in the league, only 6 points from 24 away, and 4th place Manchester City are playing away at 8th place Aston Villa. Ivan Gaskell reporting.
Into the last 20 minutes here, Villa 1, City 1. Villa largely on top since Rolandi Bianchi slid Manchester City into an early lead here at Villa Park. John Carews led Villa gamely up front. He scored their goal, rattled the post and rattled most of Villa's defence, City's defence too. 2 Villa efforts have been volleyed off the City line. Villa's manager Martin O'Neill's getting more excited than my pre-Christmas children. Now that takes some doing. Absolute meltdown on the touchline. In the words of the great Michael Winner, calm down, dear. 1-1 here.
It was yesterday that Fulham became the latest Premier League club to part company with their manager. 3rd bottom Fulham playing 2nd bottom Wigan. Jake Humphrey is at Craven Cottage.
Well, Ray, the North London derby may get the tag of the day's glamour tie, but if it's Premier League status, reputations and jobs that are at stake, then this is the day's most important game. Fulham, with caretaker manager Ray Lewington making 2 changes to Laurie Sanchez's last lineup, which was a defeat to Newcastle, will be pleased with the endeavour shown by his side, particularly Diamanti Camara, but as things stand, it's not been enough. So far, it really has been a season of second-half setbacks for the Cottagers, and against the run of play, former Fulham midfielder Chris Brown lofted the ball into the box where Marcus Bent was waiting. He powered home. It's the same old story for Fulham, who've lost their last 3 without scoring.
And Bolton versus Birmingham was 5th bottom versus 6th bottom when the game kicked off. Richard Askham reporting.
We've just had a goal, Ray. It's 1-0 to Bolton Wanderers. A deflected cross from the left-hand side. A mistake by Stephen Kelly in the Birmingham defence. And El Hadj Diouf kept his composure and steered the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. Before that, Kevin Nolan had the ball in the net for Bolton, but it was ruled out for offside. Before this goal, it was a very, very tight game. I was going to say that 1 goal will win it. The home fans will hope that that is the case. 1-0 to Wanderers.
Macclesfield haven't won in 4. Wycombe have a great home record. Wycombe have taken the lead with 17 minutes to go through Scott McLeish. Wycombe 2, Macclesfield 1. 7 points out of 9 for Middlesbrough, their best run of the season so far. Steve Sutton's watching their home game with West Ham.
In the final stretch now, Rain, it's Middlesbrough 1, West Ham 1. Both goals coming towards the end of a good first half. David Wheater for Middlesbrough with a simple tap in from close range, and Dean Ashton with a reply, an absolute belter of a drive from just outside the box. Best chance of the second half to West Ham on 52. A free kick 30 yards out, and Alberto Solano got it over the wall. It was goal-bound, but for a brilliant save, tipping over by Mark Schwarzer. No breakthroughs the second half. It remains 1-1.
Still time for scorelines to change in all those games. The Arsenal-Tottenham match finished 2 hours ago. Steve Wilson was at the Emirates.
Arsenal's 20th North London derby without defeat. The 3 points means that they will be top on Christmas Day. but they were really pushed by a Tottenham side who will look back on a Robbie Keane missed penalty with 18 minutes to go when the score was 1-1. Almunia saved it, and 3 minutes later, Arsenal substitute Nicholas Bentner headed home unchallenged from a corner to put Arsenal back in front. That after Adebayor had got the first just after half-time. Robbie Keane also hit the bar with a volley from close range for Tottenham. This all in the second half after a monumentally uneventful first half, but Arsenal stole it by 2-1.
And they lead the table by 4. Manchester United at home to Everton tomorrow, by the way. Chelsea away at Blackburn. Stoke 3, West Bromwich Albion 1. Looks like West Bromwich Albion are moving off the top of the Championship. Les, Spurs had a great chance. 1-1 and a penalty, only themselves to blame.
Yeah. I was encouraged by their performance today, and I think if they'd have taken their chances, Robbie Keane had a great chance that hit the bar from 6 yards, and he had a penalty as well at 1-1, which would have probably won the game for Spurs, but unfortunately he missed a penalty, and you just felt being off for 3 games. He was a bit ring rusty, but I was encouraged by the performance. Obviously disappointed because they lost against Arsenal.
Thanks, Les. Back to Craven Cottage. A goal. Jake Humphrey.
Well, Ray, could it be Clint Dempsey's most important goal of his career? It's 1-1 now here at Craven Cottage. I think one of the reasons Laurie Sanchez may have lost his job was that the home fans weren't too pleased with his long ball tactics. Well, it was a long ball up into the penalty box. It pinged around, came back into Clint Dempsey, who didn't get the best of purchases on the shot, but it was enough, and it nestled in the back of the net. It's 1-1.
That was an important finish. It was a good finish.
Yeah, I mean, good finish from Clint Dempsey. Yeah, I think it was just down at the near post, but I think it was Cameron who had the shot across the box. It was a scuffed it right across to Clint Dempsey. It wasn't a pass. But, they're 1-0 down, as we said. They've sacked the manager. They're looking for a response from the side. They're back in the game.
Graham, I've noticed Martin O'Neill getting quite irate on the touchline of Villa Park for the Villa-Manchester City game. Has he got a point?
Yeah, I think he has. The first half was a good game of football. It started off with City going up and Villa coming back. It was a good game. John Carew has played ever so well, and he's got a little bit of treatment from the City players. And all too often the referee seems not to have got those decisions right. So you can see him getting irate, but he's got to calm down. He's got to keep himself, and he's been sent off once this season already. Let his players do the talking on the field of play, and let the referee get on with his game.
Martin O'Neill quite irate. Sven, very calm as usual. In the SPL today, Motherwell are playing Falkirk, 3rd against 9th at kick-off. Brian McLaughlin reporting.
And it's Motherwell 0, Falkirk 3. A couple of goals from Michael Higdon within 15 minutes of the second half, quickly followed by a neat finish from 12 yards by Patrick Craig, but it's been far from one-way traffic. Falkirk keeper Tim Krul has twice saved from point-blank range from substitute Darren Smith, and also Scott Arfield's gone close for Motherwell, but with just 11 minutes left for play now, it's Motherwell 0, Falkirk 3.
Some communication problems to Celtic Park, but Hibs are 1 goal up, and Celtic having given away 7 points of the last 12, and Rangers with 2 games in hand and only 2 points behind them and playing Aberdeen tomorrow. Every chance the Rangers could be taking the leadership of the SPL. In the Coca-Cola Championship today signals the halfway point of the season. 23rd league games drawing to a close now. 4th place Stoke playing top of the table West Bromwich Albion. David Garrido at the Britannia Stadium.
Looks like this one's done and dusted, Ray. Stoke 3, West Brom 1. A superb hat-trick for Ricardo Fuller, making it 11 for the season for him. The first 2 before the break, mere stocking fillers, really. The last had all the trimmings. Fuller set free on the left-hand side. Completely did Albion centre-back Pele for pace and skill. Couple of step-overs, creating the space in the box. A classy side-footed finish. Merry Christmas, Stoke fans. West Brom have pulled one back since, a far-post header from Roman Bednar, but surely it's too little too late. Stoke 3, West Brom 1.
Watford going top of the Championship. Back to the Reebok, a goal, Richard Askham.
Yes, it's gone to Bolton, Ray. Bolton 2, Birmingham City 0. It was an absolute shocker from a Birmingham City point of view. A throw-in aimed at his own keeper by the Birmingham player. Nicholas Anelka was lively to it. He stole the ball. He rounded Mike Taylor in the Birmingham goal and walked it into the net. The game is over now. Bolton 2, Birmingham 0.
No win in 10 for Scunthorpe, but Norwich have taken the lead through Jamie Curitin with 12 minutes to go. Scunthorpe 0, Norwich 1. Norwich only a point above the relegation places. What was going on in the Bolton game there? That was an awful goal to concede, wasn't it?
Gone 1-0 down. They got a throw in, and I think it's the right back's trying to throw it back to the goalkeeper, and just obviously doesn't see Nicholas Anelka, who just picks up the ball, skips around the goalkeeper, and slides it in. And that's, I think, it's 10th goal of the season. 2 important players for them, Juve and Anelka, important for Gary Megson, and they've come up trumps today.
But Birmingham are wearing bluish shirts with red shorts. It just doesn't work, honestly. After setting the place early in the season, Watford approached the halfway point of this season in the Championship with 1 win in 7. They're away at Sheffield Wednesday, but they're going back to the top of the table. Alan Biggs.
Well, it looks like it, Ray. Can't be sure quite yet. They're clinging here to a 1-0 lead. It's not the prettiest game you've ever seen. That's often true of Watford, I suppose. But they could end up sitting pretty back at the top of the table. It's been a day for comebacks all round. The 3 players recalled by Adi Boothroyd today, combining for Watford's early goal, with Francis and Ellington producing for Joby McAnuff's run through the centre, his first of the season. Great move too for Watford's first in 3 games. Otherwise a very scrappy affair. Marcus Tudgay has wasted chances to equalise for Wednesday as well as being unlucky. So the Owls sinking deeper. Watford could be back on the rise.
Stockport and Grimsby both won the last 2 games. Could be a point apiece because Michael Rose has equalised at Ledgerley Park with 7 minutes to go. St Johnstone taking points this afternoon, beating Livingston by 5 goals to 1. 3rd against 10th at Ashton Gate in the Championship. Bristol City versus Barnsley. Promoted Bristol City 3 points behind Championship leaders West Bromwich Albion. Hamish Marshall.
Well, it's 2-2 here. We've got 10 minutes of normal time now. I would reckon at least 5 minutes of stoppage time to play. Bristol City have twice come from behind to level, with Enoch Shawumni on target both times. And for the second week in a row, they're facing 10 men after Jamal Campbell-Rice picked up 2 yellow cards, the second for diving. Barnsley ended a 6-game wait for an away goal, but I think they'll be glad to hang up now for a point apiece. It's 2-2.
A penalty in the Reading-Sunderland game. Roger Johnson.
For Sunderland, Danny Collins to make it 1-1, an unlikely lifeline. They've been on the back foot all game here against Harneman, right-footed, and scores. It's a good goal. It's an equaliser. It's Michael Chopra who took it, and it's Reading 1, Sunderland 1. Chopra with the penalty.
Well, that could be priceless as well. I know it might only be 1 point, but every goal and every point is priceless at this time of the season.
Who'd be a ref? One says it was a penalty, one says it wasn't. How do we know?
You were just sitting on the fence in the middle.
What do you think?
What do you think, ref? I think he's put it in nicely. It's to be honest, I was watching the events at Villa Park, so I haven't seen it. But when I do see it, I'll tell you what I think.
Kenwyne Jones, I think Sonko comes across to tackle, slides. Kenwyne Jones seems to jump over him and then stumble and go over. For me, I don't think there was any contact from Sonko to Kenwyne Jones.
Kenwyne Jones plays the ball past Sonko's foot, and because of Sonko's diving in, he has to go over him.
But if the defender... Does the defender touch the ball?
No.
Then it's a penalty.
Thank you.
Then it's a penalty.
I don't think it is, Stubbsy.
Right, you're not a referee, leave.
It's a penalty. There we are. I'll come off the fence. It's a penalty.
At the Valley, 5th place Charlton versus 13th place Hull. Andy May.
Charlton 1, Hull 1. Fraser Campbell and Caleb Folan looking sharp together up front for the away side. Both have been denied this half. Campbell fired in a first half lead for Phil Brown's side. Striking goal from just sophisticated goal for Charlton after half. Bulgara scrambling yards out. Hull strong going forward, vulnerable at the back though. Isaiah McLeod's on for Charlton this half. They're from 4-5-1 to 4-4-2. Danny Mills sent off though. He's been rather unfestive towards the referee. 1-1.
Scunthorpe were 2 points above the relegation places, and Norwich just single point above the bottom 3 when today's game at Glanford Park kicked off. Natalie Jackson reporting.
Well, Jonathan Force has just had a shot. He's just hit it past the far post, but it's Scunthorpe United 0, Norwich City 1 here. The goal was scored by second-half substitute Jamie Curitin in a low cross, and Curitin turned it into the back of the net. His 5th of the season. The goal came against the run of play. Scunthorpe's Martin Patterson had just had a goal disallowed for offside by the referee. So Scunthorpe could slip into the relegation zone for the first time this season if they lose here today. Scunthorpe United 0, Norwich 1.
Yeah, no win in 10 for Scunthorpe. Still time for scorelines to change. Queen's Park Rangers and Colchester is bottom versus third bottom. No one wants to be in the bottom half of the table, or in the bottom 3 in particular, or bottom in particular. And as Tony Lockwood will now explain, a new arrival at Loftus Road might be highly significant for Rangers.
Yes, Ray, the Meatel family, 5th richest in the world. £50 billion plus is the new investment here at Loftus Road, and that's buoyed the home side. 2 goals from Akos Bozaki, the first a left foot strike in the top corner, the second after Vine and Blackstock combined, a neat finish, but back came Colchester. Mark Yates finding a way through. Damien Stewart's just been sent off for a reckless challenge on Yates. Rangers down to 10 men, they lead by 2 goals to 1.
Rangers out the bottom 3 as things stand. Back to Anfield, another goal, Damien Johnson.
Yeah, Liverpool are home and dry now. 4-1, Fernando Torres with his second of the goal. It was a floated ball from Jamie Carragher to the far post. Gerrard headed it back across the face of goal, and there was Torres to volley it past James. 4-1 Liverpool.
Back to the Championship, Crystal Palace unbeaten in 9. They're playing Plymouth, who had that great away win at Watford last Saturday. Dominic Cotton reporting.
It's Palace 2, Plymouth 1 here, Ray. Neil Warnock's team are just about on course to extend their unbeaten run into double figures. Clint Hill set them on their way before James Scowcroft added a second late in a first half that they dominated. Jermaine Easter's diving header brought Argyle back into the game as soon as it resumed, though, and predictably that goal has heightened the tension here. The visitors have 5 minutes plus stoppage time to fashion an equaliser.
Blackpool's first season in the second tier of English football for just on 30 years is proving to be a struggle. 2 points above the relegation places when today's game with Coventry kicked off. How are they faring, Andrew James?
Well, Ray, I think they've got some more in the bag tonight. It's Blackpool 3, Coventry City 0. Blackpool's 4th and best home win in the league this season if it stays this way against a Coventry side who had Kevin Kyle sent off and have never really recovered. Wes Hoolahan's first half penalty didn't seem to be enough for Blackpool, but then further goals from Michael Flynn and Casper Skorks in the second half have proved decisive. Of Coventry have failed to find any worthwhile response for their new chairman, Ray Ransom. It's Blackpool 3, Coventry City 0, 3 minutes to play.
Leeds unbeaten at home and going 3rd in the League One table. Jonathan Howson, with 6 minutes to go, has given Leeds the lead at home to Bristol Rovers. Leeds 1, Bristol Rovers 0. Back to the Championship. Next up, Ninian Park, Cardiff. 9 points from the playoffs. Sheffield United 5 from the playoffs. Gareth Williams reporting.
Cardiff City 1, Sheffield United 0. Cardiff taking a first start lead when midfielder Peter Whittingham went on a run. His clever pass found Paul Parry in the box, whose ankle shot was too good for Paddy Kenny. On 58, Parry outplayed the Sheffield United defence. His pass into the box was well collected by Paddy Kenny, just as well because Hasselbank was ready to tap the ball into the back of the net. Both Whittingham and Parry have had 20-yard efforts go just over the bar. It remains Cardiff City 1, Sheffield United 0.
In the Championship, Wolves-Leicester is a 5:15 kick-off. In League One, top 2 are due to play, but the Carlisle-Swansea match postponed gives Nottingham Forest and Orient a chance to move into the automatic promotion places. James Mason is watching 3rd place Forest at home to Port Vale.
Yes, Ray, and Forest taking full advantage, still leading by 2 goals and look comfortable and on course for the 3 points, which will confirm them as the League One leaders tonight. Well-worked goals from Junior Agogo and Lewis McGuigan separate the 2 teams. It's Nottingham Forest 2, Port Vale 0.
Closing stages of all this afternoon's games. Back to Ivan Gaskell at Villa Park.
Yes, Gabi Agbon-Lahore might just have done a little better just moments ago, but Joe Hart raced out to block his efforts. Earlier, Nigel Rio-Coker had got Villa into a 2-on-1 situation, but he couldn't quite find his co-striker, and the move broke down. At the other end, well, City's attempts on goal have been sporadic, but Garrido crossed and Petrov put well wide when he really should have done better. It's 1-1.
3rd bottom playing 2nd bottom at Craven Cottage. Both teams looking for a winner. Jake Humphrey.
And 2 teams, Ray, well aware just how important a winner should be, and it's all about the goalkeepers at the moment. Antti Niemi's fantastic last-ditch save, keeping Antonio Valencia's shot out, and then Chris Kirkland showing all the bravery in the world to deny various strikers as they ran in on goal. And Antoine Sibierski, who came on as a substitute, could and probably should have just given Wigan what would have been a winner. As things stand, it's very close, it's very exciting. It's 1-1.
Let's go to Teesside. A goal in the Middlesbrough West Ham game. Which way's it gone? Steve Sutton.
Yes, it's Middlesbrough 1, West Ham 2, and what a smash and grab raid by the visitors. Scott Parker with the goal. He picked up the ball in the Middlesbrough area. He weaved in and out 2 or 3 Borough players before firing past a helpless Mark Schwarzer, and West Ham have the lead by 2 goals to 1.
1 win in the last 4 for West Ham. Their away form has been decent, though, and that was great football.
Their away form's been really good. They've started off the second half much better than they did the first half. Scott Parker been been out for a long time this season, but he's come in and he's shown just what he's capable of. Great bit of football on, he weaves himself in the box here, gets a great shot and a great finish.
Final whistle starting to sound around the country. The games in Scotland come into a conclusion. East 5 have lost. They won the last 8 games away from home, but they've lost at Stenhousemuir this afternoon. Dunfermline have beaten Queen of the South, and Montrose have won away at Dumbarton. Hearts have equalised at home to Inverness, Caledonian Thistle. Final whistles in Scotland, still time for winning goals, and a lot of the matches in England. Will anyone get a win at the Majeski Stadium? Roger Johnson.
Well, we're about to move into added time. It's still 1-1, but you wouldn't bet against it. Reading pushing at the moment and have a corner. But Sunderland, arguably, having been on the back foot for most of the game, looked the most likely. Michael Chopra with a stinging drive, which Harneman turned over. Chopra has since hobbled off. And seconds ago, Kenwyn Jones, one-on-one with the Reading goalkeeper, saw it saved by his legs. 3 minutes of added time to play, 1-1.
2 points and 27 away from home, but Sunderland are finishing very strongly.
It's been all Sunderland for me. Yeah. You know, I think it took Andy Cole off, Roy Keane, and Kenwyn Jones just a few moments ago. This is the difference really between 3 points and 1. He's clean through and he hits Hanneman's legs. He either has to square it or he just has to calmly slot it. I mean, Sunderland are absolutely going for it. They're throwing everybody forward.
Are Watford on their way back to the top of the Championship? Alan Biggs?
Still looks like it, Ray. They lead Sheffield Wednesday 1-0 through a great goal early on from Joby McAnuff, but a grinding performance it's been by Watford, stretched by Wednesday at times, but a good professional job as we approach stoppage time here, and Watford heading for an 8th away win this season.
Let's get the latest from Craven Cottage. Fulham against Wigan. Match still played. Jake Humphrey.
It's still 1-1, Ray, and I think the players have now decided the referee should have blown his whistle. He's actually said there's going to be 4 minutes of added on time, but for the last couple of minutes, they've just decided to knock the ball around in midfield. As I speak to you, though, Wigan in the centre circle with a free kick. No doubt they're going to send it long. If anything happens, I'll tell you all about it.
Thanks, Jake. Final whistle in the Cardiff-Sheffield United match. Gareth Williams.
And 3 points have gone Cardiff City's way. Man of the match, Paul Parry, scoring the crucial goal on the half-hour. Fantastic angle shot. A couple of great efforts in the second half as well from Peter Whittingham, and Parry was all over the place. Tremendous pace up front. 3 points going to the home side. It finished Cardiff City 1, Sheffield United 0.
A late goal in the Reading-Sunderland game. Roger Johnson.
Reading have pinched it 2 minutes into added time, but Sunderland don't believe it. It's Stephen Hunt who scored it after good work on the right-hand side by Shane Long. He hit the ball goalwards at the far post. Craig Gordon clawed it out. The linesman on the far side has given it. Did it cross the line? I haven't seen a replay. It's hard to tell. Reading celebrate. Sunderland can't believe it. The goal is given by referee Steve Tanner, and it's Reading 2, Sunderland 1.
Well, Sunderland had a case for a disallowed goal late in the game last week that cost them. Should that have counted?
I don't think so.
Doesn't look it from here.
Wow. I don't think so. Because first of all, we all said, what a great save. And Hunt hits it down to the turf. I think he comes across the goal.
It's very, very
and
tight.
It's so close.
It's in. It's in.
No, it's not all of it. Not all of it. Not all of it's over the line.
I mean, the one thing I would say is we haven't got a great angle on it. The assistant referee's in line. He should only give it if he's certain. So he must be certain.
Well, it could cost Sunderland dearly. Full-time at Anfield, Damien Johnson.
Yes, Ray, Liverpool 4, Portsmouth 1. 2 second-half goals from top scorer Fernando Torres killed off Pompey's hopes of a fight-back and ended Liverpool's run of 3 straight defeats. The home side had been comfortable. Jose Benayoun's spectacular volley put them ahead. A Sylvain Distin own goal made it 2-0. Liverpool were playing with tempo and shifting impressively through the gears. But Portsmouth improved in the second half. Benjani's neat finish gave them hope, but then Torres struck. A side foot finish made it 3-1. A lovely volley from Gerrard's header made it safe. Pompey's impressive run of 6 consecutive victories on the road comes to an end. Liverpool's Premier League campaign back on the road.
Final whistle at Ashton Gate, Bristol City against Barnsley. Hamish Marshall.
No, we don't know the final whistle yet, Ray. We've got about 2 minutes to go, but Bristol City have left it late, but they are getting the points here. They're winning by 3-2. Substitute Darren Byfield inside the penalty area on the end of a controversial free kick. City are taking the points and staying third tonight.
Final whistle at the Majeski Stadium, Reading against Sunderland, and for the second successive week, a dramatic conclusion, and it's gone against Sunderland. Let's hear from Roger Johnson.
It's finished Reading 2, Sunderland 1, and in the season of goodwill, Sunderland will feel there's not an awful lot heading in their direction. Shane Long's cross, Stephen Hunt's shot, poured away by Craig Gordon. Hard to tell at an acute angle whether it crossed the line. The replays suggest it probably didn't. Steve Tanner and his assistants gave the goal, and that was crucial. Sunderland had clawed their way back into it through Michael Chopra's penalty after Ingemarsson's close-range shot had given Reading a second-half lead. The home side were the better team on the afternoon, but Sunderland will feel sick. It's not a Merry Christmas for Roy Keane. It's finished Reading 2, Sunderland 1.
Gretton have got their first away win in the SPL. They've beaten Dundee United by 2-1. Luton have beaten Tranmere Rovers by 1-0. 2 points in the last 18 for Tranmere Rovers now. A goal in the Bolton-Birmingham game, Richard Askham.
Yes, Ray, it's a third goal for Bolton. We've just had the final whistle here as well, Ray. Nicholas Anelka putting the seal on a consummate victory for Bolton. Kevin Dolan finding him in the middle of the area, and he finished with ease. That follows a couple of howlers from the Birmingham City team. The first from Stephen Kelly, who let in El Hadj Diouf to score. The second, Johan Djuru, who threw the ball straight to Anelka, who scored his first. It finishes Bolton Wanderers 3, Birmingham City 0.
Final whistle has gone at Craven Cottage. Fulham parting company with Laurie Sanchez yesterday. Ray Lewington in charge, playing Wigan, third bottom against second bottom. Jake Humphrey reporting.
Well, if you'd seen the first half here, you might have wondered who Fulham had drawn in the Champions League. Their play was that scintillating at times, but score they couldn't, and come the second half, it was a case of different boss, same old story, as Marcus Bent's poacher's effort from Michael Brown's assist gave the Latics a precious lead. Cue the Fulham fight that eventually led to Diamanti Camara's worst shot of the game, straight to Clint Dempsey, who found the corner of the net. And an interesting aside for you, Mohamed Al Fayed is already picking up tips on how to go about finding a new manager. He's sat in the director's box with a certain Brian Barwick. It's finished 1-1 at Craven Cottage.
Thanks, Jake. Late winner in the game at the Riverside. Middlesbrough playing West Ham. Steve Sutton.
Yes, Ray, finished Middlesbrough 1, West Ham 2, and Middlesbrough's players and fans can't quite believe what's happened to them this afternoon. They dominated the first half, but didn't get a reward for it until the 40th minute when David Wheater tapped home a close-range shot after a good free kick had set Alan Johnson clear on the far left. Then, just a few minutes later, Dean Ashton, with an absolute thunderbolt of a drive from just outside the box, found the bottom corner of Middlesbrough net, and it was all even. A goal didn't look as if it was coming in the second half until the final minute of ordinary time, when Scott Parker found himself on the edge of the Middlesbrough box. He weaved in and out of two Middlesbrough defenders before firing past a helpless Mark Schwarzer. Middlesbrough 1, West Ham 2.
West Ham move into the top half of the table. Final whistle at Villa Park. Ivan Gaskell.
Villa 1, City 1. Villa frustrated again. Martin O'Neill at boiling point, in need of a calming Christmas drink. City off to a real flyer. Petrov's measured cross, Bianchi's sliding finish. John Carew, though, was a thorn in City's side all afternoon and scored the equaliser. Villa couldn't quite finish it off. That away win still eludes City. Villa 1, Manchester City 1.
Let's hear about a late winner at St Mary's from Andy Barwell.
Yes, Preston snatched it late on in this game. Substitute Lewis Neal with the finish. Another substitute, Patrick Adjuman, did all the hard work. Southampton had poured players forward. Gaps opened up. Preston took advantage. A big win for Alan Irvin's side. It's finished Southampton 0, Preston 1.
Yeah, that's a huge victory for Preston. It's going to take them out of the relegation places. Stoke against West Bromwich Albion. Fourth against first at kick-off. Not the way it is now, though. David Garrido.
Certainly isn't. Stoke 3, West Brom 1, courtesy of Ricardo Fuller's classy hat-trick. He came off to a standing ovation. The Jamaican saved the best for last. West Brom centre-back Pele just couldn't cope with his pace or the step-overs. The finish, like his other two goals, clinical. Albion largely frustrated. Their consolation coming from a Roman Bednar far-post header. But Stoke are now unbeaten in 7.
And Motherwell against Falkirk in the SPL. Quite a shock. Brian McLaughlin.
It certainly was. It finished Motherwell 0, Falkirk 3. A double from Michael Higdon, followed by a clinical finish by Pat Craig, low right into the bottom left-hand corner of the net. The home side would have leapfrogged Rangers into second place had they won this afternoon, but it wasn't to be. It finished Motherwell 0, Falkirk 3.
An equaliser for Celtic, though, late in the game is sparing their blushes somewhat. They've given away 7 from 12 before this game. Getting a late equaliser at Celtic Park at home to Hibs is, well, it's helping the situation somewhat, but it's not good to say the least. Nottingham Forest against Port Vale. Forest taking the leadership of League One. James Mason.
Yeah, Forest 2, Port Vale 0. An easy 3 points for Forest this afternoon, and the perfect start to the Christmas period for Colin Calderwood's men as they top League One, as you say, Ray. On today's evidence, they deserve it. Well-worked goals in each half from Junior Gogo and Lewis McGugan, sealing the points, 2-0.
Let's hear about the Celtic-Hibs game now from Ian Turner.
Another 2 points have slipped away from Celtic, and that one just with... Now they have won just one of their last 5 games. The champions fell behind with a superb goal from David Murphy, who played a lovely 1-2 with Buzelan before unleashing an unstoppable shot. Celtic substitute Jiro Jarosik equalised from close range 12 minutes from time, and Venegur of Hesselink almost won it at the death. Celtic 1, Hibs 1.
Well, today's games are the first of 4 in 11 days for the majority of clubs, and Tim Gudgin will confirm the final scores.
Opening with the Barclays Premier League, Arsenal 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 1. Bolton Wanderers 3, Birmingham City 0. Fulham 1, Wigan Athletic 1. Liverpool 4, Portsmouth 1. Middlesbrough 1, West Ham United 2. Reading 2, Sunderland 1. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Blackpool 4, Coventry City 0. Bristol City 3, Barnsley 2. Cardiff City 1, Sheffield United 0. Charlton Athletic 1, Hull City 1. Crystal Palace 2, Plymouth Argyle 1. Ipswich Town 0, Burnley 0. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Colchester United 1. Scunthorpe United 0, Norwich City 1. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Watford 1. Southampton 0, Preston North End 1. Stoke City 3, West Bromwich Albion 1. Wolverhampton Wanderers and Leicester City have an evening kick-off. In the Coca-Cola League 1, Carlisle United's match with Swansea City was postponed. Cheltenham Town 0, Huddersfield Town 2. Crewe Alexandra 0, Doncaster Rovers 4. Leeds United 1, Bristol Rovers 0. Leyton Orient 0, Yeovil Town 0. Luton Town 1, Tranmere Rovers 0. Nottingham Forest 2, Port Vale 0. Southend United 0, Oldham Athletic 1. Swindon Town 2, Hartlepool United 1. Walsall 3, Millwall 0. In League 2, Accrington Stanley 1, Shrewsbury Town 2. Chester City 2, Bury 1. Chesterfield 2, Mansfield Town 0. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Notts County 1. Hereford United 0, Morecambe 3 is the latest score. Lincoln City 0, Darlington 4. Peterborough United 2, Bradford City 1. Rochdale's match with Barnet was postponed. Rotherham United 3, Wrexham 0. Stockport County 1, Grimsby Town 1. Wycombe Wanderers 2, Macclesfield Town 1. Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Celtic 1, Hibernian 1. Dundee United 1, Gretna 2. Hearts 2, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 3. Motherwell 0, Falkirk 3. St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 0. Ernbrew Scottish Division 1, Clyde's match with Stirling Albion postponed. Dunfermline Athletic 2, Queen of the South 0. Partick Thistle 1, Morton 1. St Johnstone 5, Livingston 2. Scottish Div 2, Alloa Athletic and Berwick Rangers match abandoned. Brechin City and Rossiter County's match postponed. Wraith Rovers 2 and Peterhead 2 is a latest score. In Div 3, Arborough's match with East Stirling postponed. Dumbarton 1, Montrose 3. Forfar Athletics match with Albion Rovers postponed. Stenhousemuir 2, East Fife 1. In the Welsh Premier, Airbus UK 0, Cassius 2. Carnarvon 2, Portmarnock 4. Carmarthen 2, Llangefni Town 2. Haverfordwest 0, Bangor City 1. Llanelli 2, Rhyl 1. Neath 4, Connors Quay 0. Newtown 0, for Talbot 0. The New Saints FC 1, Aberystwyth 0.
Late kickoffs in Coca-Cola League 2. Morecambe have beaten Hereford by 3-0. Still playing in the match between Wraith Rovers and Peterhead in Scotland. That is 2-2. Mark Bright, Graham Poll and Les Ferdinand have watched this afternoon's Premier League games in England. We'll hear their opinions on today's performances after we've looked at the updated league tables. And in the Barclays Premier League, Arsenal have stretched their lead to 4 points after their lunchtime win over Tottenham. Manchester United can reduce the gap when they play Everton tomorrow, but Arsenal are guaranteed to be top at Christmas. Chelsea, 9 points off the lead, are away at Blackburn tomorrow. Manchester City stay fourth after a 1-1 draw at Aston Villa. City now winless in 8 away matches, though. Liverpool's 4-1 win over Portsmouth keeps them in 5th, with a game in hand over the rest. Everton play at Old Trafford tomorrow. Bottom of the table, Derby are at Newcastle tomorrow. Second bottom, Wigan were held to a 1-1 draw at Fulham, who move out of the bottom 3. That's because Sunderland were beaten 2-1 at Reading by Stephen Hunt's injury time goal. Sunderland have now won 1 of the last 12 league games. Birmingham are a point above the drop zone after being beaten at Bolton, who climbed to 14th. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Watford returned to the top of the table after their 1-0 win away at Sheffield Wednesday. Previous leaders West Bromwich Albion slipped to second with a 3-1 defeat at Stoke, who are now just 3 points off top spot themselves. Ipswich dropped points to home for only the second time this season, a 0-0 draw with Burnley, but they remain in the playoff positions. Crystal Palace now feature on the first page of the table for the first time in 20 matches. That's after their 2-1 win over Plymouth. That's now 10 matches unbeaten for Neil Warnock's side. Colchester United slipped to the foot of the table after losing 2-1 to Queen's Park Rangers, who were bottom at the start of play but are now right up to 21st. Preston North End left it late, but they won at Southampton to move out of trouble. Leicester City tumble into the relegation places for the first time this season. They play away at Wolves later this evening. Scunthorpe also occupy a relegation place. They're 10 games without a win. They lost 1-0 to improving Norwich this afternoon. In Coca-Cola League 1, Nottingham Forest, the new leaders. They've gone top for the first time this season after a 2-0 win over Port Vale. Forest took full advantage of the match between Swansea and Carlisle being postponed due to a frozen pitch. Leeds climbed to third after beating Bristol Rovers 1-0, an amazing achievement given their 15-point deduction for going into financial administration. Orient dropped to fifth after being held 0-0 at home by Yeovil. And Walsall climb into the playoff places after a convincing 3-0 win over struggling Millwall. Richard Money's side unbeaten in 9 games now. Bournemouth have slipped to the bottom after losing 4-1 at Northampton last night. Port Vale fall a place to 23rd following their defeat at leaders Nottingham Forest. Good day for Luton, who beat Tranmere Rovers 1-0 to move off the bottom, and that's despite their 10-point penalty for going into administration. This is the situation in League 2. Milton Keynes Dons drew 1-1 at home to Brentford last night, but remained 5 points clear at the top. Peterborough beat Bradford City 2-1 to move up to second place. Darlington up to third, cruising to a 4-0 win over Lincoln City, their 5th successive win. Hereford suffer a surprise 3-0 home defeat to Morecambe and fall to 4th. Mansfield will spend Christmas propping up the Football League after a 2-0 defeat at local rivals Chesterfield. Wrexham lose for the 3rd match in a row at Rotherham but remain in the drop zone. Dagenham and Redbridge drew 1-1 at Notts County. They're the only side in the bottom 4 to gain a point. And in the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Celtic's poor run continued. They were held at home by Hibs. They've stretched their lead to 3 points over Rangers, but Walter Smith's side have 3 games in hand now, starting with the trip to Aberdeen tomorrow. Motherwell surprisingly beaten 3-0 at home by Falkirk. And a day of surprises, 4th place Dundee United losing at home to bottom side Gretna. That's only Gretna's 2nd win of the season. Managers and players are emerging from their dressing rooms. Post-match reaction is on the way in the light of the top football stories of the day. Nicholas Bentner ensures Arsenal spend Christmas at the top of the tree as Spurs pay the penalty for a missed penalty. Torres scores twice as Liverpool end Pompey's run of 6 away wins in style. Honours even at Villa Park as a goal from Carew cancels out Bianchi's effort. Stephen Hunt's late strike provides more injury time woe for Sunderland. There's Dempsey delight as he wrests a point for Fulham against fellow strugglers Wigan. Nicholas Anelka and El Hadj Diouf both were on target for Bolton as they beat the Blues of Birmingham. Scott Parker's late strike is a hammer blow for Middlesbrough this afternoon. And it's a 10:30 start for tonight's match of the day. As ever, all the goals, all the saves and all the major incidents from those games will be included in the programme. That's 10:30 match of the day. Let's go back now to lunchtime and post-match reaction on the lunchtime game between Arsenal and Tottenham.
Arsene, that's obviously a very, very important victory for your fans and for the team.
Exactly, but a very difficult one. We were not at our best today, especially in the first half. In the second half, we increased the tempo of the game, and with 1-0 up, I felt that we let them get back into the game because we wanted to calm the game too much down. And at 1-1, the turning point came because they missed the penalty that could have given them the 3 points. And from then on, we found a second goal that made the difference and gives us 3 difficult points, but 3 extremely important ones.
The first 20 minutes, I think Arsenal played better. After we controlled the game, towards the end of the first half, we started in the second half trying to do exactly the same, but we conceded early doors. It took us maybe 5 or 10 minutes to come back in the game, but after when we come back, we thought that we looked at the better team at that time. We have the goal, a couple of chances, the penalty, and then we throw the game away practically.
We have to be very happy because it's a very important victory, and the way that we get it was unbelievable as well for me.
What was important for us today is the 3 points against the Tottenham side, who has improved tremendously since in the recent weeks, and it was a very difficult game for us.
Arsenal top by 4. Do you feel as though the Gunners showed some resilience today?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is a game they could have lost 3-1. I think we saw in midweek the understudy team showing great resilience in Blackburn in the Cup. And today was exactly the same. They 1-1, they could have gone down to Robbie Keane at the bar, should have scored. Robbie Keane had a penalty, should have scored, didn't. They came back, Bentner scored, punished Spurs, as usual.
Resilience? I was lucky today.
Yeah, but you've got to hold out.
I was lucky today, all right?
Well,
You've
please
got to hold out.
feel free to answer the man if you feel like you should do. You were quite impressed with Tottenham.
I was very impressed with the way Tottenham went about the game. I mean, you know, Robbie would be sitting there. It was a bad miss from 6 yards that hit the bar, and he missed a penalty. So, you know, if he takes them chances, Tottenham win the game 3-1.
And what did you feel about Liverpool's performance?
Liverpool, I think, you know, it was important that they came out with a performance today. After losing to Manchester United, everyone wanted to see how they would react. They were under a bit of pressure. The gap's now appearing, and it was important they closed that gap, and they played very well today.
Graham, we've had an incredible debate this afternoon about penalties. Were they, weren't they? And of course, everyone has their opinion. But what about goal line technology? Do you feel as though Sunderland suffered there from the decision? Was the winner over the line for Reading?
What's not satisfactory is we don't know. There's so much money in football, we should really accelerate the development of this goal line technology. All the referees want goal line technology. Sitting here, we don't know. We haven't had the best angle. For me, the assistant had to be sure to give it. He did give it. I'd back him. I'd say it was a good goal.
It was very difficult for us here to sort of gauge whether it's right, but for the second week running, Sunderland have suffered from a late decision, which is debatable to say the least.
Yeah, I think last week was Birmingham, wasn't it? And on this one here, we thought, great save. I still think it's a great save, because I don't think the ball is over the line. We've been talking about it now. Maybe tonight they can sort it out.
We can't tell, can we?
No,
that's
not from the angle.
That's what's unsatisfactory about it at the moment. We don't know.
Let's hear what Roy Keane thinks about this. Here's the Sunderland boss.
Roy, presumably you'll go home bitterly disappointed that you haven't got at least a point.
Yeah, well, we should have. Again, it was taken out of our hands again today. Yeah, bitterly disappointed again is a nice way of putting it.
Do you have any complaints about the goal that was given at the end, which gave Reading their victory, the ball over the line or not?
Well, of course I have. But I think it's important today that, you know, as a football club and as a manager, we try, and it's very difficult, try and rise above that. I think the decisions the last couple of games have cost us dearly and might do at the end of the season. I think it's important that, as I said, we rise above it, and hopefully I think as a football club we're bigger than that.
Yeah. And the penalty decision obviously went in your favour. What was your thought about that?
Well, it was a penalty. It was a clear penalty. So obviously the officials got one right decision today.
Reading will feel that in the end the result was right anyway, that they were the better side. But were you pleased, particularly with the way your side tried to get back into the game?
Well, there's no doubt. You know, we gave away two bad goals. Well, certainly the first one. Obviously, there's debate over the second one. And we felt we'd done enough to get a point. Obviously, Kenman has a great chance to win the game. Really, he should square it for Stokes. He's 3 yards out, and you win the game. And it would have been nice. Not that we'd played particularly well. And that's what we need to do as a team more often, is see out games. And unfortunately, we didn't do that in the last few minutes, into injury time. And we need to be a bit more streetwise.
But Sunderland in the relegation places on goal difference. Let's go back to Villa Park. Jonathan Pearce commentated on the Aston Villa Manchester City game for Match of the Day. Wasn't there an incident in that game where they were debating whether something was over the line or not?
There was, Ray, yes. It was 1-1 at the time. Bianchi had slid in to put Manchester City ahead, and John Carew, with a power run straight out of the Les Ferdinand Mark Bright textbook of strong centre-forwards, had levelled, and then 20-odd minutes gone, Hart came for a cross, flapped at it, Bonlahor poked it towards the goal, and Alano swept his left foot to clear it away. I saw repeated replays. From this angle, I wasn't sure. I think it was off the line, but I couldn't be sure. Neither could the assistant, therefore he couldn't give a goal, of course. We need cameras on those goalposts. We need the technology that Graham is talking about, that referees are talking about, to make sure these decisions are swept away. In the end, though, Ray, I feel a little bit like, Christmas Day. The game started so brilliantly. Christmas Day, when you see that brilliantly wrapped present, looks lovely on the tree, and it turns out to be a pair of socks. So I feel like the game just went away to nothing. I feel disappointed, those socks.
I think football fans get quite surprised when they think that men can work on the moon and all the money that's around. We haven't got this technology.
No, it's daft. And, the way that the Villa players appealed, instantly they thought yes, and then no, they weren't too sure. The Manchester City defenders simply got on with it. But we need, because of the money involved, as Roy Keane was saying, jobs can be lost because of these decisions. You have to feel sorry for the assistants, I think. They have to peer along the line, peer through wooden posts and judge these things in a split second. And so much is riding on this. Fortunes, reputations, and it is about time in 2000, as we enter 2008, that, as you say, we have the moon, we have the space shots, we have all this technology, and yet we cannot put a camera under the goalpost. And people will say, well, it will take too long. Hang on a minute, I'm a big racing, I love horse racing. How long does it take at a horse race for a line decision to be called? Seconds. There's a photograph there within seconds, and that's what we need.
We do all take it quite seriously, don't we? Let's go back to Anfield to hear from Rafa Benitez.
How important was that win for Liverpool today?
I think that it was important to win, and also to win playing well. I think that was a great performance for us. We scored 2 goals in the first half, playing well, creating chances, and after the second half for maybe 10 minutes we were a little bit nervous, but as soon as we scored the third goal, the game was open again and we had more chances.
What did you say to your players? That first half display must have been one of your best this season.
No, just to say we know that it's an important game for us. We know that we are close to the top of the table. Try to do your best, and I think that all of them, they were really concentrated, focused in the game.
Understandably, you keep saying one game at a time. Have you in your mind got a target for points from these run of games?
No, I think that we need to win a lot of games in a row if we want to reduce the gap. But it's clear that if we can win the next game, maybe we'll be closer, and we need to think about the same against City.
You mentioned there was a nervous period in the second half when Portsmouth scored. Were you a little concerned?
Yeah, they were playing with a target man, Canu, and he was keeping the ball. So we needed to adjust 2 or 3 things. And at the end of the day, also we knew that could be a counter-attack because they were playing with the 4 defenders really high. So was the situation, try to do the right things and score the third goal.
Rafa Benitez is still talking about the Premier League title as the premier target. Do you think that's realistic?
Not at this moment in time. I think you need to win it, he's got to play his strongest team, and he doesn't do that every week.
So Champions League, better for Liverpool to go for?
Yeah, without a doubt. They've got all the ability, but none of the consistency that's required to win a league. They're much better equipped on that inconsistent form to win a cup.
I wonder I don't think their squad. I don't think their squad's stronger. Yeah. I don't think it's strong. You can see Arsenal's understudy team. how good they are playing in the Cup. I think Manchester United's squad's better. I think they're 13 points behind.
As 2007 draws to a close, 9 days to go in fact, in time to look ahead to 2008. And sports-wise, there's a selection of what will be on the box. A lot to look forward to in 2008. Craven Cottage today, Fulham 1, Wigan 1. Both these teams in relegation trouble, and Fulham having parted company with manager Laurie Sanchez yesterday. Ray Lewington is the caretaker boss, and here he is.
Do you think a point for Wigan will be, they'll be happier with a point than Fulham are?
Yes, because you have to win your home games, there's no doubt about that. In the position we're in, we need to win our home games, but it's been a funny sort of week this week, and the one thing I was hoping for, that the spirit would be okay, and we showed spirit, and it's really good. There's a few technical things that we can sit down and talk to them tomorrow, which we will do, but in terms of spirit, they haven't given up hope, and they've really given a good account of themselves today.
How's it been for you to come in at such short notice and take charge of things with Laurie only leaving the club yesterday?
Well, it was slightly strange because obviously I drove in, you know, for training, ended up being the manager, but you know, I've got plenty of experience, so it wasn't no big deal for me. I got out there and we trained, and as you can see, they responded really well.
Lots of names, of course, being linked with the job. Would you say that your hat's in the frame?
Well, the club have put my hat in the frame. They said that if I do well, that they will consider me. But I'm realistic enough to know that they will go outside. They have got a list already, I think. Maybe I'm one of a few, but if it doesn't happen, then there's no problem from that from me. I should just do the best I can while I'm in charge, and see what happens from there.
Lots of games now in quick succession. How long do you expect to be in charge for as a caretaker?
No idea. I've got no idea, and I'm really not interested in it. It's just I will just carry on until told otherwise. So we'll go in tomorrow and we'll prepare for Tottenham. If by the game at Tottenham there's someone else in charge, then fine.
I think you've got 2 away games back to back now. That away form needs to be looked at and sorted out, doesn't it?
Well, the home form this year's not too clever either, but yeah, obviously, I mean, there's not been many wins away from home, which is an understatement, really. Something we have to address, we've got to put right, otherwise we face the consequences. So everyone's aware of it, and we will try and put it right.
Right, thank you. Cheers. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Quick reminder for news on all today's football and for sports news across the board. The BBC Sport website is constantly being updated. Right decision or wrong decision to part company with Laurie Sanchez for Fulham?
I think that the only thing I don't understand is why Friday before the game on a Saturday. Timing was strange, but probably the right decision because it's all about winning games. He's played 22, only won 3, and although he's only won 3 games, they're still they're not adrift of any of the other teams. So right time for another manager to come in and try and get a response from the players he's got there.
Cynics will say it's because John Collins has become available from Hibs, but we have no knowledge of whether that's accurate or not. But right decision or wrong decision on what you've seen of Fulham this season?
It has to be the right decision. I mean, Sanchez has bleated about being unlucky with refereeing decisions all the time, and it doesn't happen that way. There's the odd game or the odd point you might lose. You've got to look, as Les has just said, 22 games, only 3 wins, and you've got to give the new manager a chance to get the squad sorted before the end of the season. So right decision, right time.
What do you think, Mark?
I think £25 million spent. I think he's had the backing of the board. I think the points tally speaks for itself. It hasn't worked for him. The people he brought in haven't scored goals, and they're in the position they're in because of that.
Bolton have a new manager. They parted company with Sammy Lee earlier in the season. Bolton fans didn't want Gary Megson, but the club have had a good run of form and they've moved into a position of where they're now a couple of points above the relegation places. They'll beat Birmingham today, and let's hear from him.
Gary, considering the importance of the game, the side you were playing against, it's a very good day's work for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good day's work. You know, there was some very good things, some things that weren't so good, but the ultimate thing was winning the game, which we've done. Probably the scoreline doesn't suggest how close the game was for most of it, but you know, it's a great day for us to beat somebody in the same region as ourselves in the division and get a clean sheet on the back of what was extremely poor defending last week. There's been a big improvement, and that's a standard now that we've got to get or we're going to attain more often than not.
That must be a massive delight for a manager like yourself when you ask for better defending and you get it.
Yeah, and you know, Andy Bryan's come in, he's made a bit of a difference for us today, but the other three lads have all played better than they did last week, and you know, that gives you something that you know, if you're solid at one end and you've got the quality that we have got, you know that over the course of 90 minutes we will get opportunities. And in the first half we came a little bit alehouse ball. We were getting balls in the last third and just sailing it into what was a well organised 9 players. And we haven't got the players to cope with that. So the second half we did play a little bit more, took our time a little bit more, and as I say, with the quality that we have got in the side, we can cause anybody that we play problems.
Bolton 3 points above the relegation places. Gary Megson is proving that for Bolton in the situation they were in, he's been the right appointment.
Yeah, I mean, there was an outcry, wasn't there, from the fans when he got the job. What you have to do is, once you've given someone the job, give them a chance. We all said, can he keep Anelka, can he keep Juve? He kept them. Anelka scored something like 11 goals so far this season. The window's coming up. Will he be able to hold on to him?
Graham, there's been a lot of discussion in the past few days about two-footed tackles. Do you think tackling is getting worse?
Yeah, what's happened is the referees haven't quite picked up on it quick enough. I think players have seen other players getting away with it, and therefore it's coming in. Once referees start getting them right, I think it'll be stamped out very quickly, and that's their responsibility. It's protecting those players before someone gets seriously hurt.
Sir Alex Ferguson suggested that for some challenges there should be more than a 3-game ban. That would cut it out. Do you agree?
As happens in other countries, a red card automatically has a 1-match ban. A committee then looks at it and says that should be 6, that should be 3, that should be 2, dependent on the severity of the foul or the situation. And I think that's a very good idea.
Christmas, goodwill to all men, and we're talking about two-footed challenges, Les. Do you think the situation is getting worse?
It is, and no one likes to see it. We've seen a lot of these two-footed challenges. The players know what the punishment is if you do it, and if you do it, I think you rightly so. And I like that idea that sometimes we look at tackles and we think he's definitely gone to hurt him there. So if you do that, you should face the punishment of maybe more than 3 games.
Nearly time to close here on BBC One. But with a reminder that with so much football coming up over the next 10 days or so, we have several programmes lined up. The score from 2:30 via the red button and the website. And final score from 4:45 on BBC One on Boxing Day. There's a full fixture list next Saturday, the 29th. Same start time, score via the red button or the website at 2:30. Final score 4:30 on BBC Two. Same story on New Year's Day, same score time, same score channel. January the 1st, wonder which clubs will have taken 12 points from 4 games over the Christmas and New Year fixtures when we get to 5 o'clock on New Year's Day. More reaction to today's results is on the way. Press the red button and follow the links. This is where we say goodbye to BBC One viewers. We wish you a very happy and healthy Christmas. Bye for now.